Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name's Sharma Hammond. I'm the staff attorney for Immigration Reform Law Institute, or IRLI as we are known. That's our acronym, IRLI. First, I'm going to start off and tell you a little bit about some of the variety of cases IRLI handles, and I'll get on to my environmental lawsuit. But IRLI, as Garrett Rowe will demonstrate, the other staff attorney, he's going to go over a few other variety of cases we handle. I also handle employment discrimination cases. This was touched on earlier in the presentations today. Under the Immigration Reform and Control Act, 8 U.S.C. 1324B, it provides for a lawsuit, or actually it's an administrative hearing with the Department of Justice, if there's citizenship discrimination based on hiring or firing. As it was stated earlier in the presentation, this was generally used so aliens were not discriminated against. However, IRLI, being that we represent citizens' interests, we have taken this to the other side, representing lawful workers or citizens who have been discriminated against in favor of illegal aliens. My current case, I've already handled one, which fortunately settled. My current case right now, our client complained about his employer's policy and practice of hiring and employing illegal aliens. He was fired because of this. So we're claiming this is obviously citizenship discrimination. He was fired for engaging in a protected activity. Now that's an ongoing case right now. So tackling the problems of illegal immigration from the litigation standpoint, and even pulling in the environmental aspects, is always quite a challenge, and we're forging new ground in this area. Today I'm going to discuss the following topics. First, I'd like to tell you about the problems we deal with, not only bringing environmental immigration-related lawsuits, but immigration-related lawsuits in general. And secondly, I'd like to describe my current environmental lawsuit, which I know you're all interested in, and tell you any other future ideas I might have regarding these lawsuits. I'm going to quickly delve into, again, the problems that we deal with bringing this type of immigration-related litigation. Because this is such a politically contentious issue and there's so much publicity given to our cases, our opposition, who's amply funded and staffed, continuously attempts to intervene in our cases or become parties in our cases. Being that IRLI only has 3 attorneys on staff, this obviously limits us, and we have limited resources as well. This limits what we can do and how effective we can be, how many cases we can be involved in. For instance, this environmental litigation that we just filed, that's immigration-related population growth, the ACLU has paid close attention to this, and they have filed a motion to intervene. So being that they're extraordinarily well-funded and staffed, the ACLU, in my case in particular, this environmental lawsuit, is going to throw 7 attorneys into this lawsuit versus me, just me. So 7 against me, not including the 2 city attorneys we're dealing with. But you can imagine how that is going to exacerbate my already overwhelming stress and workload. And this is what they try to do. They try to overwhelm, which was stated earlier today. Of course, IRLI faces this David and Goliath situation constantly and continuously. So you can see the kind of dilemmas we deal with. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of background and give you a brief synopsis of IRLI's current environmental litigation. I was brought on board early. Just to give you a little background, I'm an environmentalist. I worked as a wildlife biologist, and I was focusing on environmental law, and I've worked for environmental organizations. But I was brought on board early to kind of dream up and initiate how to pull these environmental aspects into the immigration-related cases. Illegal immigration affects the environment directly and indirectly. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir now, but the direct impact comes from the illegal immigrants crossing the border. Studies have been conducted in southern Arizona with the BLM, the Forest Service, in collaboration with some local agencies. And these have been documenting since 2002 the devastation caused to the desert by these illegal immigrants. They leave at least 500 tons of trash a year. They soil the streams, and they completely decimate endangered species habitat when they come across. So that's some of the direct impact caused by illegal immigration. The indirect impact caused by illegal immigration, and legal immigration for that matter, is the effect it has on dramatically increasing our population. And as you see, and as everybody has been discussing, population growth does adversely impact the environment. More use of finite resources, more congestion, more pollution, etc. So the task was to conceive a means to integrate these direct or indirect effects into this lawsuit. So, Early being the pioneer in this field and filing the first immigration or environmental immigration related lawsuit that I know of, we are suing the city of San Francisco. They put forth a municipal ID card ordinance back in November 2007, and we brought suit in May on behalf of 4 private citizens. Our claim is that the ordinance will encourage and induce illegal immigrants to move to the city to reap the benefits of the ID card, because you do receive benefits. And they're deemed residents, so they can get these ID cards. It only makes sense that illegal immigrants with no true linked identity to the U.S. and no form of identification would move to a city where they can get a government-issued identification card. Since the ordinance will encourage illegal immigrants to move to this locale, the ordinance has a growth-inducing impact. An environmental assessment should have been done regarding these impacts. California has one of the toughest environmental quality acts. It's based on NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act, but it's much more stringent. And it's called the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. CEQA actually does acknowledge that growth-inducing impacts must require an environmental assessment. And California case law interpreting CEQA does find that population growth adversely impacts the environment. So this is why we chose California as the perfect venue for this lawsuit.